Johnny Walker Dread, and none other than Faith Rittenhouse. Welcome, everyone. We'll take a few moments, obviously, for people to pile in here. Be aware that there is a dog warning in effect.
A dog warning. Like we have tornado warnings here in Oklahoma, right?
Right. Yep. So,
oh, that's a cute one.
Oh, look at Zapucci. Hello there, Zapucci.
Little pit bull or something, or
we can't hear you, Faith. You got to unmute yourself.
Barking at the cat, but yeah, she's a pit.
Faith, why don't you introduce yourself, and most importantly, how would people know who you are?
I'm the older sister of Kyle Rittenhouse, the little kid. Well, not little kid, but he's little to me. But the kid from Kenosha who shot people in self-defense.
That's right. Tell us about the rest of your family.
My mom, Wendy Rittenhouse. She's an
who did not have anything to do with Kyle being at the protest.
She had nothing to do. She was at home in bed cuddling the cats. She now works as an airport agent. So that's good.
That's right. She's going to be joining on, isn't she? But she's a little delayed.
She's a little delayed because the flight got delayed, so it had to be pushed back a little bit. But now she's like, I think on her way home, but I think she's on her way home.
Okay. So we'll bring her in when she does make it in. All right. Neil, how about you? Why don't you go ahead and, I'm acting like this is on my channel, but this is on Neil.
That's okay. It gave me a moment to kind of do some housekeeping anyway, so that's fine. But basically, hi, I'm Neil from V Radio. Many of you guys may remember me for making one of the documentaries that helped exonerate Mr. Rittenhouse. I've done a lot of investigative work on that, and you guys can see all that stuff on my channel. But the main focus of today is, if you guys go to the description, you will see a GoFundMe for the Rittenhouse family. I donated $50. So if you guys can give anything, please try to, because they're in some trouble that obviously I'll allow Faith to explain whenever she's ready. Are you ready, Faith?
Yeah, sure. I'm ready. But so I made the GoFundMe because the month of April, like the start of April, I fell into some medical problems where I got diagnosed with appendicitis, and it's nothing big. Appendicitis is not.
If it bursts, it is.
Oh no, it's perforated. It was perforated. So I stayed in the hospital for 4 days. I think it was 4 days. I was in the hospital because they couldn't operate because everything around it was inflamed. So it was too risky to go in. So they gave me medication, and then they were like, we might not need to take it out. But so they gave me medication, sent me home. And then a few days later, I was throwing up, and I'm like, oh no, I'm dying. So I go back, and they're like, oh, it's a side effect from the medicine. You'll be fine. And then my stomach starts to hurt, I think a week and a half later, where my stomach continuously hurts, and I won't get too TMI in it, but my stomach continues to hurt, and then I go back to the hospital where they're like, we don't know what it is, but your appendix is still burst, but your right side of your colon is inflamed, so we're going to give you more medicine and send you home. And then I think 2 or 3 days later, I was still in agonizing pain. And so I go to a different hospital where my white blood cell count was over, I think, 20,000. It was over 20,000, which normally the range should be 4,000 to, I think, 10,000, 4,000 to 10, or 4,000 to 8. I'm not a doctor again, but it was really high. So they had to keep me, and then they did another CT scan where I still had appendicitis, but then I had pain colitis, so they couldn't operate on my appendix again, and everything around me was inflamed, and I couldn't work, I couldn't do anything, so I was admitted there for 2 days.
So, overall, over the last 6 months, how many days have you been in the hospital?
So, over the 6 months, I've been over maybe 6 times.
You've just had a run of bad luck.
A lot of itises. Like you've seen
Yeah, a lot of itises.
Let's collect the itises. Lots of itises. More itises.
But when I was in the hospital, we try to like talk to my brother. Like we try to like tell his lawyer to tell like my brother that I was like maybe needing surgery or like I was in the hospital. I never heard from him.
Wait, I mean, Kyle never stepped in and said, "Don't worry, I'll take care of this." No.
I haven't talked to him in a year officially, like in May. So last May was the last time I talked to him.
Okay, wait a minute. So it's been a year?
Yeah.
A year. I mean, that's the last time you saw him like in person.
No, the last time I saw him in person was in 2022, the end of 2022, when he was picking up something from our house. It was like right before Christmas.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that's.
So I saw a comment saying, "Why take care of it? Is she not a grown woman?" I wouldn't expect him to take care of it. I would just expect him to care.
Yeah, I can't pretend to like understand how somebody else's troubles are like mine. I actually have it very good, but I've been very lucky. Not everybody is that lucky.
I concur. I think that a lot of people basically just don't understand the person who was saying all of that stuff. Like, in fact, I actually just banned them from the channel because they were clearly just here to troll. I don't think they were being genuine or in good faith about that argument, and no pun intended, faith. But
not to be mean, but it was kind of rude.
Yeah, no, well, they don't understand your situation. So, like, yeah, you're a grown adult. Like, well, how old are you?
23.
23. And you guys still endured all of this craziness, like where your lives got incredibly complicated because of, one night in Kenosha.
One night literally uprooted my whole family to where we moved to a different state.
Right. Yep. All of that stuff, in addition to the fact that, he isn't helping you guys. So, especially if you haven't even heard from him in a year. So, like, go ahead and explain a little further then what it is specifically that was like we talked about you being in the hospital, but like the chain reaction of things that led to you guys being in financial trouble.
So like the chain reaction was because I couldn't work. We weren't making enough income to support rent. And so we physically couldn't pay it. But then also we also were struggling with getting a car. I don't know if you guys remember like my sister's tweets about like how we needed a car.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So it was either the choice of like either getting a car or paying rent at the same time as I'm in the hospital. And we had so much problems with getting a car. So it was...
Did you get one?
Yeah, we eventually got one. My sister did. So pretty much the first car we got, they ended up like almost a month later, they ended up texting Mackenzie and saying like, hey, like you need to like take the car back. The bank didn't approve. So we're like, what the heck? Like, what are we supposed to do? So
how did they let you leave with the car that the what? Okay, that's not important. Continue.
They yo-yo sailed it. But so we had to give the car away. And then I think we were carless again for another week where we went to a different car dealership where one of my sister's friends used to work at. And then they helped us get another car. And that car, like we were approved on. And then a month later, we got a call saying the bank disapproved of it. Like you failed your bank call. So we found another bank, but you have to put this much down now. So we had to put more money down on the car that we had already put we put $2,600 down on a car. So we like put everything in and then plus another $1,600 on the car. And that's all rent. And I'm not working because I was in hospital, wasn't feeling good. Literally, when I wasn't in the hospital, I was at home with either a heating pad in the bathroom trying not to throw up. Wasn't able to eat. I wasn't able to move. It literally felt that I was gonna die. Like one night, like I thought that like I was gonna die. I was like, I feel like I'm about to die.
This led to you losing your job, right?
Yes. So I couldn't work. But then, like, thankfully, I just started a job. I work at a daycare. Sorry, there's a cat.
Hey, we got another guest has joined the stream. And we're getting a good view of him too.
But so I just got another job, and
it's a strange looking cat. Oh, okay, yeah. That's one of those 666 cats. I don't know if I'd go around those things.
We got her outside. But I just started a new job, and hopefully, like, I'll get paid soon, where I'll be able to like use the money that people have donated, and then my check, and then my mom's checks, which my mom does not make a lot. Has an airport agent. She gets like $25 because they're cutting out.
Wait a minute. She gets $25 per
25 hours, I think she said.
Oh, I'm sorry.
She gets like 15 an hour, but they cut her hours. So right now it's just like a weird spot where we're facing eviction, so she can't get a job.
Wow.
Because like we want to prove that like there's a steady income. So it's very hard.
So I have somebody asking me a question here. If you want the answers to that, you can go look at the streams where I talked to Kyle's mother and his other sister, and the other stream where we talked to Faith again. I don't really get it, guys. Like, if you're going to deify the kid because he defended himself at a riot, that doesn't mean that he's infallible in absolutely all of his other interactions. And being a young kid who's getting exposed to suddenly having a bunch of money and suddenly a bunch of fame, and without really good mentors in the situation to keep him from going off the rails, he did things like write a book that has a lot of private information about his family that was completely unnecessary to be shared with the public. That's just one of many other things. So I guess you can take whatever you want out of that. But if you're asking if I'm ever going to address it, I don't know how long you've been on my channel, but like, we've interviewed this family 3 times. Kyle's welcome to come here anytime he wants and do that.
Absolutely.
And he of course never does that. He goes on the channels of people like Nick Rekieta, and he doesn't have time for people who actually did the work to put the videos together to get him out of jail. So, but anyway.
Well, and Neil, I think that together, me and you, we're not into the Kyle idolatry. We both understand that he was innocent. We both defend him vigorously against those who claim that he's guilty. At the same time, I'm not going to sit there and go, "Oh, Kyle, you're such a great person. You're a hero." No, neither one of us are doing that.
No,
because we both understand that he was a 17-year-old kid who went there with the best of intentions, got himself into some trouble. Thankfully, was able to shoot his way out. Right. He's innocent, but at the same time, he has some character flaws, and I'm not going to defend him when it comes to that book. Just for your viewers, Kyle DM'd me and said, "Hey, I'm catching a lot of flack from my family. I want to send you the book, and I want you to read it and tell me what you think." So he sent me a copy of his book, and I sent him a DM back saying, "Are you insane? This is terrible. You are making a lot of accusations here about your family. It's going to come back to haunt you." At the time, I thought that they hadn't gone through final proofing yet. And I said, "Hey, Kyle, man, you have a lot of problems with this book, not only in attacking your family, but it's written like shit. All right. I'm a professional technical writer. I know how to write. I know where the problems are." I said, "Talk to me. Let's get together." And he just completely ignored me, blew me off, went ahead, published the book. And you know what? I am not going to defend that book. And you know what? And the worst thing about it was, Neil, he didn't make a dime off that hardly.
So obviously my position is has always been is that, you know, the kid went to a riot. I don't think that's advisable, but everybody, like, there was nobody defending the property in Kenosha, Wisconsin.
Oh, I
I've been
want to
on,
interrupt you for that for a moment there, Neil,
yeah.
because a lot of people are saying like, well, he shouldn't have been there. You know, what he did was dumb. I'm actually one of the few that says I have no problems with it. So I'm actually defending Kyle more than most of his supporters. At the same time, I'm not going to defend his actions after the trial and the way he treated his family. I'm
Well,
just
right,
not going
yeah,
to do it.
and that's kind of the way it is with me too. It's just that being in a situation like that at the right place at the right time or whatever didn't just suddenly make him a superhero. You know, that would, and I think that that's part of the problem. You know, for me, I was given him the benefit of the doubt through the whole thing. The book thing was kind of the end of it for me. I still spent a lot of time on Twitter and make other content, but as far as his treatment of his family, I'm not on board. But anyway,
My phone. Oh, okay, hold on.
Oh, there we
from the
go.
dog morning we
There's
talked about
Wendy.
earlier.
Okay, I think Wendy's home.
Well, I mean, it's comes back to stuff that I talk about on my channel all the time. The part of your brain that even understands long-term consequences isn't even working in most people until they're in their mid-20s. You know, so he's not going to fully get it until much later. I just hope that he
26.
does come around. So
26. I'm predicting it. At 26, he'll look back and think, okay, yeah, it wasn't
maybe I
very
shouldn't have done that.
We have
Yeah.
Wendy.
Now, who do we have coming in?
She is in her work clothes, but she could say hello until she changes into something more.
Oh, okay. Good deal.
To take a walk around the Rittenhouse house.
All right. There she is.
Hey, Wendy.
Wendy. How you doing?
I'm good. Just got off of work. It was a long day, kind of, you know.
All right. Well, I tell you what, you want to change and then come in and talk to us a little bit more formally. Is that right?
Yeah, I want to eat something first because I
made
That's
some-
fine. We're good. Take your time.
All right, no problem.
Okay. So everybody out there, Wendy will join us shortly after she gets done eating, and we'll talk about a lot about what's happened after the whole trial thing.
The whole trial was fun. Let's just talk about that.
Fun? You thought that the trial was fun?
Not really. That's me being.
Yeah, Faith was like, "Oh man, this is so fun watching Kyle." Yeah, looking back on it, I'm sure that you have a much different. But at the time, I bet you were just on pins and needles.
I was okay. So, like, honestly, my whole thought process during that trial was like, could this trial end? Like, I am way too stressed. The stress that I've been under right now is more stressful than a trial. Like, I feel bad, but it feels more stressful because I don't know where me and my mom have like nowhere to go in a week. And so I'm like, where the heck are we gonna go? Like, we have 2 dogs that I do not want to get rid of. They're my whole world. I don't want to get rid of my belongings. So I'm just like,
Thanks, Fred.
thank you, Fred.
Sorry. Continue what you were doing. Here you go.
But
Hey, we can appreciate anything that you guys can donate.
honestly, anything, like even sharing the GoFundMe means the world to me. Like, I've seen all the donations and like I am like so grateful. Like,
Good.
I have no words for like the people that have donated and the people that have shared it and like retweeted it. Like, I share it on my Twitter and I feel bad that I share it every day, but like I'm trying to like help my mom out in the best way possible. So I don't know how I'm gonna get money.
Absolutely. Well, I totally get it. I mean, I've never been in your situation, but I can imagine what it must be like.
And like I have a lot of like trauma towards this because like being a kid, I was evicted all the time. So like now being an adult, I'm like, this is happening again. Like, when is it gonna end?